Hello everyone and welcome back. This is game 1 of the losers round 3 matchup between Sherman Tanks and AmaTerasU. Sherman Tanks is over here in the red as the Mori. He chose the first map. A pretty rare choice in this tournament, but a good one. It's a Hime Gorge. Very nicely balanced and extremely good map for skirmishing, I would say, but interestingly enough, neither army has any ranged units whatsoever. Very interesting build here from Sherman Tanks, being a sort of Naginata Corps. I mean, it's Naginata monks and samurai, and the rest is cavalry. Actually, I guess I would say that's a cavalry corps. Over here we have a ton of swords and a ton of cavalry with a few spears here to support a couple of Yari Ashigaru and Naginata warrior monks. So it should be a very interesting battle. The buildings on this map, the farmhouse on the left, the archery dojo in the middle, which is effectively useless, and the shrine way over on the right, favoring AmaTerasU, which unfortunately with the randomized buildings, again we have a big advantage here in the buildings. Definitely would rather have the morale shrine than the farmhouse. But it may not matter because Sherman Tanks is moving quite fast, already up on top of the ridge on AmaTerasu's side, and ready to go. Cavalry moving quite quickly for Sherman Tanks. AmaTerasU is responding as well. Interesting. Both cavalry are just kind of changing sides maybe. Oh, but maybe a feint. All of the cavalry being chased off by one Great Guard, but he's going to close in here, and both Great Guard are running in for Sherman Tanks. If he loses those two Great Guard early, that could be a big blow to his forces. And that's going to be some ninja action coming out of AmaTerasU, but a bad place to be throwing your bombs in such a huge heap of your own cavalry. And look at this, infantry is just having a dog pile here on the bottom side of the hill, definitely favoring Sherman Tanks in the charge department, and we already see some wavering here for AmaTerasU, so this cavalry engagement could go very well for Sherman Tanks. And it looks like what he's trying to do here is getting a lot of early action with his cavalry and then hope to outlast AmaTerasU in the melee battle, but with just a few Naginatas, it looks like AmaTerasU is the one with the infantry advantage, so I don't think that strategy is going to work if it does work out. But still, those big downhill charges were quite effective and managed to kill a lot of cavalry and even got some of the spear infantry to waver. And you know, Sherman Tanks still has plenty of cavalry left. 4, not counting the general, in reserve. And they're going to, ooh, this could be a big charge coming up here from the Katana Cavalry, and being Katana Cavalry, they're able to stand in that melee fight. And AmaTerasU is getting very clumped up. No spears really to stop him. There is a Naginata monk, and does manage to stop that charge quite effectively. We'll see if that pays off. Cavalry's just splitting up all over the place for Sherman Tanks, but he needs to get his Naginatas up there and really capitalize on the openings that his cavalry has made, because he's about to lose all of his cavalry here on this side. Still got a nice clump in the center, but they are losing to the Yari Ashigaru. And this early action looks like AmaTerasU will be able to withstand those big downhill charges and come out with enough forces to win. And actually, AmaTerasU does have a couple units of cavalry left. We see 2 Great Guard, but both are about half strength. That's going to be it for his cavalry. More bombs going off, but not a good place to be throwing your bombs, being in the thick of your own men. And you see this kind of samurai, I've already lost a decent amount of men. That one unit over here has lost 40 already. Oh, he was trying to slip some Katana Cavalry around, but got a little lost in the micro, and the Great Guard is going to be able to capitalize on that. But it did draw some forces away. And we'll see, ooh, Warrior Nuns. That might be a first in this tournament, seeing that unit coming down the hill on the side of the Naginata Warrior Monks. But the charges are a little bit disorganized for Sherman Tanks, as AmaTerasU is spread out enough that he's not getting good charges off, which is some solace to be taking in this, even if the engagement's not going great for Sherman Tanks. General down to 27 men, and just this unrelenting wave after wave of charges coming from Sherman Tanks just might be enough to break AmaTerasU. We do see mass wavering along his front line. This is a very bold attack, which looks like it could work out for Sherman Tanks. Look at all this wavering. Mass rout right in the middle. All the Yari Ashigaru are just going to be gone in one swoop. General down to 17 men. This could work for Sherman Tanks. I was pretty skeptical. Ooh, he's got to get his general up, though. He's way in the back there. Needs to move that up. Is that all the cavalry gone for? No, it's got Katana Cavalry at half strength. It looks like that's it, but mass wavering just everywhere for AmaTerasU. And there they go. Warrior Nun sort of leading the charge there. I know we got some Warrior Nun fans out there in the audience. Surely love to see that. And now it looks like both sides are going to get a straight up engagement, going clashing right at each other. But it's hard to say who has the advantage at this point. General's still far back for Sherman Tanks. That could really be huge. If he's too far away, they're not going to be able to get that bonus. More bombs. Again, not a good place to be throwing your bombs. That's probably only going to affect AmaTerasu's own men. Katana Samurai shattering there and wavering with their war cry active. At 72 men, 70, 69. And wavering, we see more wavering here. A mass rout could happen at any second. The morale is all in the red for AmaTerasU. It looks like these Naginatas are going to be able to hold this battle out and out-tank them. Ooh, a big charge here from Katana Cavalry. Despite having only 11 men, that could be the morale shock that he needs to win. Yep, mass wavering, and it looks like Sherman tanks. What an attack! Wave after wave. Very well microed as well. Only a few little slip-ups, but overall very good attack, and manages to win. Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't say that yet, because there are some units still left on the field. The Yari Ashigaru, Katana Samurai, and the General. It's 7 men. Should be routing or dying very soon. I was kind of hoping to be the Warrior Nuns taking out. Oh, it looks like maybe it was a Warrior Nun. Good job, ladies. Showing them how a woman fights very well, apparently. These units sort of pulling back for AmaTerasU. Maybe just sort of trying to find a defensive position and maybe hope he can get lucky. Is the General still standing and fighting over here? Nope, he is mounted back up and will be moving out to clear him out. There is wavering though, so I would imagine that as soon as any units for Sherman tanks get close, they're going to be routing. There goes 2 of them gone. Just 1 left, a Katana Samurai at 106 men making a last stand in the forest. We'll see if the Katana Cavalry will stand a fight. Oh no, they didn't rout. I'm dumb. They were just hiding in the forest. They will probably rout. Yep, there they go. Katana Cavalry is saying, no thanks, you guys can take this one. We've done enough. Naginata monks leading the charge along with the Warrior Nun. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of those Warrior Nuns. You know, because Belle really likes those too, and so I'm surprised that she hasn't used them really at all. But you know what? There's a Kisho Ninja over here as well. There's 4 units left, and this could, you never know. I mean, it's late. AmaTerasu's taken a lot of casualties, but if Sherman tanks doesn't get a good engage off here, he could risk losing these units one by one. Hope he has a war cry, because that's what he's really going to need. General needs to get in there and get a big charge and get the shock factor in. And we'll see if the Warrior Nuns... Oh, there's the mass waving. Looks like Sherman tanks' attack is going to work. I was a little worried there, because if he could take this army out piecemeal, AmaTerasU could get a good last stand and actually pull out a win, but looks like all that's left is 1 Katana Samurai who's now wavering, and everybody just going to master out at the side of the Warrior Nuns at 45 women in the unit. 85 broken. There they go. Sherman tanks gets the victory. A little closer than it seems by the final numbers count, but a very convincing win nonetheless. See you back on the main menu. There you have it, folks. Sherman tanks takes game number 1 on his home turf of Ehime Gorge with a very nice attack from what we saw. It wasn't just a standard dumb rush where you throw everything at your enemy. There's a lot of good micro there that we saw. A few mistakes. The Katana Cavalry getting caught by the Great Guard there. General being too far away and risking a piecemeal attack there at the end. But overall, I thought that was a very good attack. Especially, I mean, considering that AmaTerasU really had a melee advantage, I think. To risk all of his cavalry up front like that and actually losing a lot of his cavalry up front was a big risk, but it paid off for him. Very well played there by Sherman tanks. We'll see if AmaTerasU can take it back on his home turf and tie up the series. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.